This is the official sound of a French champion.
Wait for it.
That wasn't a pig. That was a man.
What? Huh?
And he's competing in the French Pig Squealing Championship.
That can't be real, right?
A real event where contestants are judged on their ability to replicate everything from a happy grunt to the sound of a pig realizing its final moments are about to become a sausage. In a country known for fine wine and haute couture, I'm here to find out why one of its most prestigious titles is for sounding like a pig. Every August, this quaint village throws a party. And by party, I mean a glorious descent into absolute madness. It's called La Poucayade. And surprise, surprise, it's about pigs. Lots and lots of pigs.
It was chaos. Pigs everywhere.
Not just on plates, mind you, though there are enough pork products here to feed a small army. No, we're talking people. Grown adults, dressed as pigs, wearing snouts, and oinking with a worrying degree of accuracy. Some are even parading around with enormous, rather unsettling pig effigies, like it's perfectly normal.
A grown woman dressed as a pig?
The air smells faintly of sizzling sausage and a lot like desperation. So, how did this whole pork-centric pandemonium begin? It turns out, Teresa Baez has been celebrating pigs for over 40 years. Apparently, it's not just a party, it's a sacred tradition. Pigs, you see, have always been a colossal deal here. They're the very backbone of the local farmers and the not-so-secret ingredient to nearly every meal. The town pretty much revolves around them. Pig statues in the town square, pig weather vanes on every barn. It's their identity, their pride, their literal bacon and butter.
That was a joke.
Really? What began as a charming nod to agriculture has somewhat escalated. From a simple appreciation for their four-legged friends into a full-blown, human-on-stage pig impersonation championship.
Like, how the f*** does that even happen?
One has to wonder, how did a simple celebration of a beloved farm animal mutate into an event this gloriously, deliciously unhinged? Turns out, pig squealing isn't the only bewildering activity happening here. This festival is a full-blown swine spectacle. My day kicks off with a morning mass, and I was not prepared for the guests of honor. They bring a real piglet into the church. Yes, a real, live, probably confused piglet. Right there by the altar. Bit unusual for a Sunday service, wouldn't you say? My local vicar would have an absolute meltdown. After the service, I'm swept up into the grand procession. The Brotherhood of the Pig parades through the town in their official robes, looking very serious, carrying banners and those giant pig effigies. It's quite the sight. Equal parts ceremonial and utterly, utterly surreal. After that, the feasting begins. And when I say feasting, I mean serious feasting. Mountains of sausages, piles of ham, enough pork to feed a small army. Or, more accurately, a very large, perpetually peckish pig. There are even sausage eating contests. Because naturally, what's a pig festival without competitive gluttony? And if you fancy a flutter, they have pig races. Tiny pigs, legs churning like furious little pistons scampering around the track. It's surprisingly competitive. All of this is just a warm-up act apparently, but it still leaves you wondering, how could anything possibly top these antics?
Actually, it's about to get worse.
All these delightful, pork-filled activities are just leading up to the main event, the French Pig Squealing Championship. Yes, that's a genuine title, not just something I made up after a little too much local wine. Competitors take to the stage, often dressed in their finest pig attire. Snouts, ears, maybe even a full sty ensemble. Then they make noise. Pig noises to be exact. Authenticity is absolutely crucial. The judges, often local farmers or vets, listen with an intensity that borders on alarming. They're looking for realism, for tone, for the true guttural spirit of the hog. I tried a tentative oink myself, just to see. It sounded less like a pig and more like a door hinge given up on life. This is clearly a professional sport. They even have specific sounds that they want to hear, from a tiny piglet's terrified cry to a mature bull's, enthusiastic grunt. But honestly, the most infamous categories are still to come, and they are truly something else. It makes you wonder, which pig sounds are they really trying to make? And how on earth does one even begin to practice that without alarming the neighbours? So, what exactly are these vocal virtuosos trying to achieve? It's not just a general oink, you know. This is serious, high-stakes squealing. First up, the infant pig. Think high-pitched, frantic, like a tiny, panicked bacon bit realising its destiny. Then there's the sow calling her piglets. This is a more guttural sound, a rhythmic, maternal grunting. You might even call it endearing, until you remember a human is doing it, usually with a grimace. Next, the boar in a rut, aka mating season. This one gets a bit, well, let's just say it's agricultural. It's a deep, throaty grunt, full of urgency, and possibly accompanied by a slight blush from the more sensitive audience members. But the real showstoppers, the ones that make jaws drop and sometimes cause genuine concern, are the final two categories. The sound of a pig being castrated, and, even more alarmingly, a pig becoming bacon. Yes, you heard right. These require a truly piercing shriek, a sustained, ear-splitting cry of pure, unadulterated distress. Competitors often contort their faces, their bodies even, rolling on the ground, all for that perfect, agonized squeal. It's an effort, a performance, and quite frankly, a lot to unpack. After witnessing that, you have to wonder, who are these dedicated individuals and what kind of therapy-inducing practice goes into perfecting such a unique craft? It turns out the kind of person willing to contort their face for the perfect pig shriek isn't just one type. The competitors here are a glorious mix of dedicated professionals and absolute madmen. They come from all walks of life. Local farmers who just really love their work, professional entertainers who have clearly lost a bet, and just plain enthusiasts of the truly, truly bizarre. They're not just messing about. Oh no. They take this incredibly seriously. It's a genuine vocal art form, apparently. They practice for months on end, honing their grunts, perfecting their squeals. Some even study recordings of actual pigs. Yes, they're listening to real pig noises, on repeat, trying to get the exact intonation, that perfect pitch of porcine distress. It's a dedication you rarely see outside of, say, Olympic synchronized swimming or perhaps competitive cheese rolling. Legends are made here, like Noel Jamet. He's a multi-time champion, a true master of the swine sound. His commitment to the craft is astounding. It almost makes you forget they're pretending to be pigs. Almost. With such a bizarre art form, you have to wonder, surely there must have been some equally strange moments, or perhaps even a bit of controversy given the subject matter.
Drama, my favorite.
You might think an art form that includes that final, piercing shriek that we talked about would be, let's say, a little controversial. And you would be absolutely right. It turns out, not everyone is a fan of the pig squealing championships. Animal rights groups like PETA have occasionally voiced concerns. They see it as disrespectful and a bit exploitative, especially the pig races and the imitation of certain, rather graphic, pig sounds.
Oh my god, I can't look.
The organisers, however, are firm. They insist it's all about heritage, a proud celebration of local culture and a heartfelt way to honour the animal that quite literally built their region. They say the live animals are treated well and the squealing contest is just harmless human fun. No pigs were actually harmed in the making of the champion squeal, which, let's be honest, is a relief. And this is where the whole thing actually starts to make a strange kind of sense. Beyond the bizarre costumes and the startling noises, this festival is actually really, truly important. It's a massive boost for the local economy, pig farmers get to sell their produce, and businesses in Teresa Bays get a tourism surge. Thousands of people mean thousands of sausages sold. It's serious money. So, while it looks like pure, unadulterated madness, there's a method to it. Or at least, a very tasty pig-shaped motive. It just goes to show you, sometimes the most unhinged revelry has a surprisingly sensible, financially driven purpose. But what's the lasting impression of an event this unique? And how does one even begin to explain it to confused relatives back home? It's a peculiar blend of genuine tradition and glorious, ear-splitting chaos. You come here expecting something unusual, and it delivers far more than you could ever imagine. It leaves you feeling bewildered, slightly impressed, and thoroughly entertained. And it proves that the most unhinged traditions are often the most unforgettable. If you think grown men squealing like pigs is the strangest tradition out there, you haven't seen my next stop. I'm heading to Mexico, where a local mayor renews a sacred peace treaty by marrying a crocodile. Yes, a full-on wedding with a veil, a priest, and a kiss. Subscribe to see if I'm brave enough to catch the bouquet.